Fast forward, any come over channel, so I say a GH Politics Avenue. Podcast was a trend because me headlines and a Jemre na be exum war. And any one metric say among rain sim. Na ye coying sima onia Cecilia dapa ni a year ni cash case no. And a exum we na EOCO. Abra a year OSP a year docket no a de coma woman. Omo enna so omo tena so omo gusu a omo eye nhwehwemu a onia enya asem koto akra na me no kase nhwehwemu omo ye no bebi omo ye akoduro na EOCO ne nansi anemu eye siama atrasia bisa siama atrasia otono boase na oboyi nkyeremu bebi a nhwehwemu no akwa akoduro ehu be hia se me no mienu yebejemre ni ahwe ni yeko ani de yeba me da se wajemre ewa.
Across all other cases. First of all, before Act 1044, the position of the law was that without a predicate offense, you could not prosecute money laundering. But even with that, I believe there was a misconception. Now, you have to separate prosecution from investigation. Right. The fact that you cannot prosecute a case without a predicate offense may not necessarily mean that you cannot investigate. I think that's where the problem has been coming from. Now, since then, steps have been taken for us to request for the docket and conduct our investigations. Now, in my experience with money laundering cases, you don't see the predicate offense first. It's usually the money laundering you see. You can only establish or find out about the predicate offense upon investigating the money laundering in terms of the trail.
Right.
So, for instance, again, because I don't have a better example here, the sighting of the money in Cecilia Dapa's house is or may be termed the evidence or the money laundering. Now, we need to now follow the money, look at all financial history, trace the source, look at issues of tax evasion, to establish the predicate offense.
Right.
So investigations must be differentiated from prosecution. That's where we are standing. So our new leadership, based on this position, wrote to the OSP for the docket to be brought back to EOCO for us to investigate.
So what you're looking at now is you are following the money, essentially.
Yes, we are following the money.
And the argument that there need not necessarily be a predicate offense before you investigate a matter you suspect to be money laundering?
No, you don't need to see the predicate offense first. And 1044 is now clear on that. I think the problem was that in the previous act, that position was not clear. And in line with our international obligations as well, that was one of the main reasons why 1044 was enacted, to address some of the shortfalls that the previous act had. So on that breadth alone, it is now imperative for us to disregard or move from that position where we were concentrating only on the predicate offense as a means for the prosecution and by extension the investigation. And some of us even had this opinion before that time. So the position now is that after 1044, even without a predicate offense, even with 1044, even without a predicate offense, you should be able to prosecute a person on money laundering, because then you are going to look at offenses on the path of irregular lifestyle, or what we call the lifestyle audit investigations.
Right.
So this alone, without getting a predicate offense, is enough for you to go under Section 1(3), subsection 3 of the Anti-Money Laundering Act 1044.
So you can start the investigation without necessarily establishing a predicate offense?
Yes, definitely.
But can you start prosecution without establishing a predicate offense?
Yes, with 1044 now, that's the position of the law.
Explain this part of it to me, and we'll put that on the screen. What you see there, where a person under investigation for money laundering is in possession or control of property which the person cannot account for and which is disproportionate to the income of that person from known sources. That is where the lifestyle audit you talk about can establish this. That person shall be deemed to have committed an offense under subsection 2. But you've had some lawyers also reference the fact that at this point, Cecilia Dapa is not under investigation for money laundering. as yet. So what is EOCO's interest? What are you looking for exactly?
Well, once the docket has been referred to us, that's the commencement of the investigation. You don't, in investigations, the assumption is always created that until the person is brought before the investigating body, then investigations have not begun. That's not necessarily the case. We may want to conduct background investigations and to know what we are dealing with before we bring you in. So investigations are currently ongoing. So that would satisfy the bit about the money laundering, a person being under investigation for money laundering. So that is the trigger. Now, when investigations commence on that angle, triggering the money laundering investigations, then any property that we find or assets that we find that is in your possession or under your control is subject to the investigations or the extended investigations. Now, we also do, that's where we come in and do the lifestyle audit. If we conduct a lifestyle audit investigations and your income or all your other known sources of income are not proportionate, are not capable of allowing you to own these assets, then it becomes a subject of confiscation or forfeiture to the state.
I see. And so you're also going to conduct some form of a lifestyle audit?
Very well, most definitely. We will do that. Because we would have to do source investigations in terms of where the money came from, look at the possibility of tax evasion. There are several angles that we can, and because this is an active investigation, I will not go into details and say them here. Yeah.
I'm very mindful of the limitations of what you can put out, and I respect that. That's fair. It's a fair point to make. But also, how would you respond to those who raise concerns about one institution which is supposed to have a standard operating procedure, a manual that guides your work as to what you should pay attention to or what you should take interest in and what you think will be a waste of time? Under one leadership, an opinion is that, look, this is not worth getting into. It's a waste of our time if we get into any investigation of money laundering or Cecilia. Then a new leadership comes in and your disposition, your orientation to this case is different. Would you agree with those who say it raises some concern about the EOCO as an institution itself, or your discretion on which case to look at is based on a particular leader's position of what is worth looking into?
Well, not necessarily. Again, we have differences in opinion, differences in interpretation when it comes to legal documents and text, especially. And what I would point out to is that crime is not mandate specific. When a person commits a crime, he or she doesn't decide to go within the realm of the Office of the Special Prosecutor. Even, for instance, if the OSP is investigating cases of corruption, they may find issues of forgery, falsification of documents, and all those other aspects. Even with EOCO, when we are running our investigations, there are times that we need or we rely on the expertise of other institutions or other sister agencies for the purposes of progressing our investigations. Perfect. We call on the Narcotics Control Commission, the OSP themselves. We call on the GRE when it comes to tax issues because they have the mandate for tax assessment. So I think that the issue here has to rather be a promotion of effective collaboration. Perfect. Because at the end of the day, the resources that we have at our disposal as institutions and law enforcement agencies is quite little. So if we promote the collaboration, then it makes our work a lot easier instead of trying to do it alone or focusing on the issues or trying to make it about a mandate. And again, the law does not prohibit or restrict law enforcement agencies from collaborating and conducting joint operations or joint investigations to serve or ultimately attain a common purpose, which is to, for the EOCO mandate, recover the proceeds of crime or facilitate the recovery of the proceeds of crime.
I see, and talk about collaboration, because that was an issue. On this particular case, there was that tough war of who is to do what, who has the mandate to do what. At some point, we had the EOCO, OSP, all coming at each other, the Attorney General. It became quite messy at some point on this same Cecilia issue. How's the collaboration like now?
Well, the collaboration has always been there. I will not sit here and make it look like they have not been there for us. And again, based on the mandate of each institution, we seem to push a certain position because we feel that our interpretation may be right or wrong. But then again, we all need to sit down. At the end of the day, we are trying to work for Ghana and recover things that or assets that may have been lost in the course of service to the country. So it's almost very difficult if we take entrenched positions as law enforcement agencies. What we must do is, as a matter of importance is to come together and reduce some of these turf wars or conflicts in terms of positions that we take when we try to make certain sense of our mandate. If we are able to do that, I think it takes a lot of these issues away, and then the public has a certain level of confidence in us.
See, and that's a quick one, because I want to have Bracco Powers have his take on this. He's not spoken as yet. Just a quick one.
No, yes. I just want to say thank you. Today you've had a lot of excellent legal submissions here. I'm not a lawyer, so I will not attempt to do that. They are all perfect, they're excellent. But here's the crust of the issue. I think this is what it comes to. The Republic of Ghana, after investigating Cecilia Dapa for over 1 year, has found nothing against her.
Dr. Zato, why do you keep doing this?
Let me, no.
I thought you said you had clarity on
it's
this.
clarity. Secondly, they have not found anything against her.
Hold on.
I'm not arguing.
I thought you were going to make a new point.
I'm not arguing. I just want to make this. I want to get it clear that the OSP, who is supposed to be neutral arbiter, who is supposed to do a neutral, clean investigation, has issued a report. And right now, the same OSP, in less than 24 hours after their report, is running away from their own report.
You made that point earlier.
Report. The point I'm trying to make is this.
What's the new point you wanted to?
It's difficult for you to see what is happening and then don't think that this is personal.
Bracco, do you get that sense?
Exactly. Are you saying that as a lecturer, haven't you even remarked a script, all right, and saying that a student who was supposed to have failed has passed? I'm asking you, your whole academic life, haven't you ever remarked a script and saying that there are changes? I want to ask you, just be honest with Daniel.
Senor Ramos, I don't owe you that answer. I don't.
Thank you.
I'm a teacher. Listen, it happens all the time.
Right. Anyway, come on. Bracco, so is there still any confusion in your mind about the OSP's position on Cecilia Dapa as to whether or not this is an ongoing investigation? Is that a closed chapter as yet? But is it right to make the conclusion of being squeaky clean now?
I think I've read when the OSP issued the report, I anticipated what Dr. Zato and some other a section of Ghanaians are going through. The misconception, particularly when you fail to understand the context from which an office or a particular individual makes a point. And I agree with the OSP, because you see, when you put out a report and people try to put a spin on the report, there is a need to bring clarity or to clarify the issue and put it into proper perspective. I think when I read the report, I had no doubt in my mind that the OSP was forcefully right in saying that when we investigated, we found no corruption or corruption-related offense having been committed by Cecilia Dapa. However, there were instances or suspected cases of money laundering and extraction. And however, we need to make it clear to your viewers. When we talk about extraction, we are talking about acts usually committed by suspects or individuals who engage in money laundering, whereby they divide the money into smaller units. Into smaller units, one to evade reporting and discovery or detection. Exactly. So if OSP says we were able to uncover cases of or suspected cases of money laundering and extraction, I think the appropriate act was what the OSP did by referring the docket to EOCO to carry out that process. But that should not be misconstrued by anybody, that the OSP has cleared Cecilia Dapa of any wrongdoing altogether. And as Martin and Honorable Husseini said, this is just, with crime has no expiring date. Mm-hmm. It can be gone into at any time when new or fresh evidence emerges. So I think I have no doubt in my mind, and Dr. Zato should also get this clarification. The fact that the OSP came out with a subsequent statement clarifying that particular portion of the report does not mean that they were inconsistent or they were not dutiful with the work that had been given to them. I think that we should rather commend the OSP for the kind of work they have done. I have maintained and on other platforms that the OSP has been more effective in the first half of this year than even the Attorney General.
Really?
Yes. And this is my point. The OSP has gone beyond the media drama to give us material pieces of evidence of the kind of work they have done. Unlike the Attorney General who enjoys media drama. Oh no, let me make my point. Because you see, the thing is that we want to see evidence. Don't forget that this government came to power on the back of Ora. And Martin Pebu had been forceful and an active member of it. And the thing is that I have always said that I supported the Ora because we need to sanitize the system. We need to inject some level of confidence, honesty, integrity into the system so that people who are giving public office will discharge their service with some decorum. I mean, they should go about their work giving respect to the kind of work that have been given to them, because you are representing almost over 33 million Ghanaians. Yeah. So when a duty has been given to you, you must discharge it with fear or without fear or favor, and let Ghanaians feel that indeed we feel no regret by giving the mandate to the NDC. But what are we seeing? We are seeing acts of cover-up. We are seeing persons connected to the governing National Democratic Congress being, released by the issue of Nolly Prosecutor, and some other people also being given deals when, in fact, when we are to interrogate, we have issues with, especially Dr. Dufour, the incident of Dr. Dufour and other people. And after, you remember I said that the Attorney General had entered more knowledge prosecutors than any other Attorney General I've seen within the first half of the year. And for me, it scares me.
Let's come back to the point.
No. So the OSP deserves special commendation for the kind of work they have done. But, the report had its own lapses. I mean, in some of the incidents that they gave us, they rather gave us information that we already know. They gave us what we already know. But we are expecting more than that, particularly in the case of some other people like in Ufureta. We are looking at cases, maybe what is the state of the process of extradition. Because, this already, the Interpol read notice, and there are processes to get him extradited to the country. What are the fresh evidence or maybe fresh information that you want Ghanaians should exactly not putting what is already in the public domain to Ghanaians. And again, I don't know, Alfred, but the OSP has been very combative. When you read their interaction on social media, in their response to questions from Ghanaians, social media users, they have been very combative. And I at least expect that from an office that is supposed to, address issues in a corporate manner. Because their response to questions or even comment from ordinary Ghanaians, and mind you, these are people who may not have a better understanding of the issues. So their comments or their questions may be, sorry to say, maybe childish, or you may find them infantile. Because they do not have the kind of level of understanding that you have. But their response to some of their comments, and you feel that this is not supposed to be coming from somebody, an office being paid and fed and resourced by the taxpayer. These are the people who are paying the taxes. And, and apart from that, Alfred, the OSP, even though the prosecutor himself has said that they don't love using bail as a punitive measure, I think in some instances they have used bail as a punitive tool, and they need to,
Who are you talking about exactly?
So particularly, we are talking about the case involving Paul Adumotre, where the OSP said that come with property in your own name. I mean, this is. It was strange when I read that.
You are bringing
a self-recognizance bill.
But you are bringing in quite a number of things.
No, Alfred, I'm only saying that as much as the OSP deserves special commendation, there are lapses that we are just reading for the OSP to also take into consideration.
I see.
Do you understand? So right. I feel within the first half of the year, the OSP has been dutiful, they've gone about their work. And with matters concerning Cecilia, nobody should be in doubt that the OSP has cleared him. He has not cleared him, as Dr. Zato and some other section of Ghanaians may believe. He has not cleared him of any wrongdoing, because merely by even saying that there are suspected cases of money laundering and structuring, it's enough for you to know that still there are some lingering doubts. There hasn't been any total clearance, so there are some lingering doubts, and I feel we all need to bring clarity to this. And Martin and Honorable Fuseni, I mean, have made this clear, and we need to pick that up. We just need to encourage EOCO and also to let them know that we are following this issue, particularly because there are a lot of, let me say, almost all Ghanaians are interested in the outcome of this matter. If EOCO is able to douse the fire and EOCO tells us that they do not want to proceed with this matter, then we will understand, unlike what the previous AG did. And Martin has said that when they claimed that there was a need to establish a predicate offense, I was surprised, because so they mean that there must be an offense connected to the serious offense such as money.
Onia we ensema horo timi course wa channel no so amana wase so jemre dasane so bad ye no dia adumyania ye besan hiem na ye de chinsi asan asomo GH Politics Avenue.